In the new episode of Halef, everything turns into complete chaos, and the trailer makes one thing clear from the very first second: no one will be able to stay calm, and no one will be able to pretend they don't see what's happening. Because Serhat waking up is not just a return to life. It's the beginning of a brand new war. The moment Serhat opens his eyes, he wants only one thing: blood for blood. At this point, it feels like no one can stop him by saying calm down anymore. And once he stands up to punish the people who pushed him to this point, the balance of power will never return to what it used to be. From what we understand in the trailer, Serhat's awakening will cause a huge wave of panic both in the mansion and among the tribes. Everyone will suddenly find themselves in defense mode, because they know what's coming. But the chaos won't grow only because of Serhat's rage. The biggest explosion is also tied to the massive decision Baba Han makes. That one decision will take the conflict between the Yıldırım tribe and the Kordogli family to a completely new level. The trailer practically tells us this is no longer a family matter. It is turning into a war that can change the fate of entire tribes. A single sentence from Baba Han's mouth can alter the direction of everything. And considering how harsh this decision looks, it's enough to send chills down your spine. Because once a decision like that is made, there is no turning back, and it makes a direct clash between both sides inevitable. Meanwhile, things become even more complicated on Asir's side. Asir clearly realizes the mistake he made, and the weight of his regret grows heavier every day. But regret won't be enough to save him. Because while we watch Asir struggle with his conscience, we'll also see Akif gaining power step by step and tightening his grip on everything. Akif reaches a point where he doesn't just manage events. He starts making moves that decide people's destinies. Every person and every situation he takes control of becomes like a noose around their neck. And as that noose tightens, Asir's ability to move freely will shrink even more. At this exact moment, Yıldız steps into the center of the storm. Because Yıldız has learned certain truths, and as those truths come to light, every balance inside the mansion will collapse. Yıldız is no longer just a woman who stays silent and waits in the corner. She is forced into the game. The trailer shows us that she will confront Akif using the information she holds, and she will try to make some kind of deal with him. But the biggest question is this: can Yıldız actually convince Akif, or will Akif pull her into his own plan instead? Because Akif's style is obvious. No matter who comes to negotiate, he will always twist the agreement to serve himself. That's why Yıldız approaching him is extremely risky. But she is so trapped that moving forward without taking risks is no longer an option. While all of this is happening, the growing closeness between Serhat and Yıldız becomes impossible to ignore. Serhat leaning toward Yıldız sparks new hope inside her. For a moment, Yıldız begins to believe that maybe everything can finally change. And as viewers, we start questioning whether Serhat has genuinely started to feel something different for her. But before that hope can fully grow, another harsh truth drops like a stone into Yıldız's heart: the fact that Melek is pregnant. That piece of news could destroy Yıldız's dreams in a single moment. Because Yıldız knows very well that if Serhat learns Melek is pregnant, he will stand by Melek in a way that leaves no room for turning back. And Yıldız's greatest fear is exactly that: Serhat pulling away from her. Even seeing the worry on Yıldız's face in the trailer is enough to make you feel that a major break is coming. On Sultan's side, as always, opportunism is in full force. Sultan is preparing to use the fact that Asir shot Serhat as a weapon. The trailer makes it obvious. She will turn this incident into the perfect excuse to force Yıldız out of the mansion. Sultan will once again place Yıldız on the target board and try to erase her existence completely. Sultan's attitude toward Yıldız has never softened. Even Yıldız simply breathing has always been enough to annoy her. And now Sultan has a strong excuse in her hands, and she will use it to the fullest. Yıldız is heading into yet another cruel, unfair, and lonely battle. This episode might even become the final limit of how much she can endure. But Sultan's plan isn't the only bomb waiting to explode, because there is also the truth about Zean Ara. Zean Ara is preparing to reveal that Melek is actually his daughter. And the moment this truth comes out, every stone in the series will be thrown out of place. Melek's identity, Zean's bloodline, the tribal balance, Serhat's rage, Sultan's schemes. Everything will crash into each other at the same time. And once Yildiz learns this truth, she will completely lose control. Because in her eyes, this is not only about Melek, it also affects her own life directly. How Yildiz will react, which side she will fall toward, and who she will attack becomes one of the biggest mysteries of this episode. Her patience is already gone. With a shock like this, it could take only seconds for her to do something truly irreversible. And as if all of that isn't enough, we also have the Yıldırım issue. Yıldırım makes a new move against Serhat in order to marry Yildes. So in this episode, Serhat's enemies don't just increase. The danger surrounding Yildiz grows even bigger. Yıldırım's goal may seem like simply winning Yildiz, but this is also a power display and a direct strike against Serhat. Yıldırım knows that he can hurt Serhat through Yildiz. If he gets her, he can corner Serhat emotionally and socially within the tribe. That's why Yıldırım's new step will make the conflict between him and Serhat even more brutal. In short, the new episode of Halef is packed with explosions waiting to happen all at once. Serhat waking up with revenge in his eyes, Babahan's harsh decision, Akif's power games, the secrets Yildiz learns, Sultan's plan to throw Yildiz out of the mansion, Zean Ara's shocking revelation, and Yıldırım's marriage move. This trailer doesn't just make you ask, what will happen next episode? It makes you wonder, will anything ever be the same after this? If you don't want to miss the major confrontations that are coming, let's follow this story together. Because what happens in this episode will be talked about, argued over, and remembered for a long time. So what do you think? Who will Serhat target first after waking up? Will Sultan succeed in pushing Yildiz out of the mansion? When Zean Ara reveals the truth, who will be destroyed? Can Yildiz survive this shock? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this episode is about to lock all of us to the screen.